Okay, we are officially live.
Are we?
Welcome
Yeah.
to our live stream on how to brand your Instagram. We have the lovely and amazing Marisa. Marisa, I'd love to have you introduce yourself and learn a little bit about you, how you started in kind of the freelance world, and what kind of services you offer, and mention your Facebook group and everything that you have to.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay, great. So, hi, I'm Marisa Grissom. I live in California with my husband and my 1.5-ish-year-old baby boy named Ellis. So, about 3 years ago, I think 4 years ago, I was in grad school getting my MBA. I won this business competition, won some money, launched into the tech startup world, which is a crazy world, but
Yeah.
we pursued this app company for about 2.5 years, and it was going great. And we were getting letters of intent from different universities, and yeah, it was going great. Minor detail, I ended up getting pregnant, which was fantastic. We weren't planning it, but we were excited. And throughout my pregnancy, I continued with the company. And after having our son, a few months later, decided this is just not really what we want for our family. Not that we
Yeah.
can't do it, but it was taking a lot of time. We were going to have to start traveling and pitching and
Yeah.
getting investors on board. And we tried bringing in a different CEO. We couldn't really find someone who fit what we were looking for with the domain
Yeah.
expertise that we really needed and wanted.
Yeah.
And so we decided, this is just it, and it's time to do something else. And as
Yeah.
a mommy, especially, since I'm talking to mommies, I mean, it's just, that we freelance, we have our own businesses so we can be home, so that we can be with our babies. And so I just decided, yeah, this isn't what we're going to do,
Yeah.
and another door is going to open. So I left that, which was really hard at first, but
I bet.
and then we decided to build Technically Social together, so my husband and I. So what we do is we coach and mentor people with amazing ideas, and we help take them from this idea stage of just having this thing in your head and launching it and actually doing it, right? So going from
Right.
dreaming about this to actually doing it and
Actually
launching your
doing it. Yeah.
business. And so that's kind of like what we do. We do that through an 8-week online workshop, which we're actually getting ready to start in June. And that's
Awesome.
called, yeah, it's called the Idea Lab, and it's 8 weeks, and it's an accelerator to just get your business out there, get your idea out there. And we do also one-to-one coaching, all that good stuff. So
That is amazing. And let me just say, like, I think it's so courageous of you and strong to have been having this amazing idea, that being so successful, and to say, you know what? This isn't really working for us right now. I'm going to take a step away. I think that is absolutely incredible, and I commend you for it.
oh, thanks, sweetie. Yeah, it's not, at the end of the day, it's making, they were both great opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, being a mommy is fantastic, and it was a dream come true. And this tech startup was a dream come true. And, never did I see myself doing something like it. And it was a huge learning opportunity, and growth, a season of growth. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, this is just what's more
Yeah.
important to me. And if I want to do this later on, then we can pick up.
Yeah,
Perhaps
absolutely.
not. So it's just making those decisions that really align with what we ultimately want.
Absolutely. And now this is a whole new chapter with exciting, amazing things. So tell me a little bit about, I know you have a couple of different tips on kind of how to brand your Instagram and really showcase yourself, your brand, or even if you're not specifically looking at yourself, if you're working for a company, how you can do that for them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think throughout, so we've actually been around for, Technically Social has been around for about less than a year, really. Even though we've been helping, we really started it because one, because of our backgrounds, but also because friends would just come to us for
Yeah.
website advice or business advice or branding advice, whatever it was. So we thought, why not just start, doing that for other people? And so, what I found was transitioning. So we have one profile on Instagram. I don't have a personal feed and a business feed. And so we were on this journey of trying to figure it out. Like, what does that look like? Are we a brand? Are we business? Are we both? Like, how do we do this? And so it felt really sticky at first. And so what I found was that there's really three things that you can do, that we can all do, to really start building our brand and seeing it kind of build and flourish too, and really attract other people who might be interested in what we do. So, do you want me to just start with?
Yeah, go ahead, jump on in.
Okay, so the first one, and feel free if anyone has questions, or if you have questions, Katie, I'm happy to expand wherever. So the first tip is, I think is to be consistent with the type of content we're posting.
Yeah.
So what do I mean by that? So being consistent. So if we think about why we follow certain people on Instagram, think of like the influencers, the actors, anyone we follow on Instagram, we probably follow them because we know them for something. We know them for like the how-to person for something, or we've gone through their feed and we like what we see. And maybe we don't know why we like what we see, but usually it's because it's consistent, right? So we're like, oh, they're posting consistently about Instagram, or they're posting consistently about fashion or car racing or whatever it might be. So we automatically make this connection in our brain, like they're a good person to follow because I can use them as a resource, right? And so it's the same thing for us. We need to be consistent with what we're posting, so that people, when they find us, think, oh, this person looks like a how-to or go-to person for this, because I've swiped a few times, up, and it looks like they're consistent with the type of stuff they're posting. I'm going to follow them because I'm interested to see what this person continues to come up with. And so, as tempting as it might be to post about grandma, from time to time, or my dog, that's all great. But does it fit with your brand? Does it fit with what you're doing and the message you're trying to, and the message that you're trying to make, right? So if you're a lifestyle brand, then absolutely, if your dog's a big part of your brand, or your child, like for me and for many mommies, our baby is definitely part of our brand because we're moms and we're proud of that. And so we want to show that. That's fine, but make it, keep it in a consistent way. Continue, every few pictures you're posting. And I'll talk about how to practically do that in a sec. But, and so it's tempting to post, this is the food I'm eating today, or, hey, look, that's a pretty flower. But keep those things. And there's a place for that too. Post it on your stories. I share stuff on my stories that I might not necessarily share on my feed. I'm hanging out with the girlfriends today. I'm wine tasting. I'm at Disneyland, or whatever it is. I might share certain things, but it's on my story. And so trying to really discipline ourselves to figure out what goes on our feed and what goes in our stories. So yeah, a really practical way to do this is make a list of 7 to max 12 categories that define your brand. So if it's a lifestyle brand, maybe your baby's a part of it, your husband's a part of that, but you're sharing tips consistently. You're sharing, if you're a coffee fanatic and that's part of your brand, you're sharing things about coffee consistently. And so making that list, and every time you post or you're planning out your content, making sure, okay, it fits into one of these 7 or 12 categories. I'm going to post it. And then if it doesn't, making the disciplined decision to say, okay, this is probably a good idea for our stories, And the great thing is stories is like a lot of the time more popular, and people view our stories more than our feed, because we've become super lazy and no one wants to use their finger to scroll anymore. So so the idea of just being consistent and how to do that and having the discipline to be consistent with the
That's
type of
great. So
content.
just really coming up with like a plan, and then just sticking to it.
Right. So that we're that person, that,
Yeah.
go-to person for whatever it is that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what's your next tip?
So the second one would be, and it kind of goes with this, but it goes with being consistent, but it's being consistent with the type of aesthetic, look and feel that we're putting out there. And
Kind of like the same theme going on.
Right. So, and this doesn't mean that we need a professional camera, Adobe. We need to be like this professional photographer with the most beautiful stage pictures. It doesn't mean any of that. I don't use, every now and then I might have like a professional picture because they're pictures that we took as a family.
Right.
But so all it means is just being consistent with the look and feel. And one way we can practically do that, I mean, iPhones are so great.
Yeah.
Our phones are, the quality of picture that our phone can give is perfect.
Yeah.
And so doing a few practical things to make it look and feel is what we want to focus on. So I do want to say this real quick. A lot of the time, I mean, I've gotten a little bit of pushback on this. A lot of the time people might say, well, like, Instagram's so fake, like it's not, you're not being authentic, or the type of content we put out there is it's too staged and doesn't really like show the real life. And I would argue that you need to stop this as a business, as a brand. We need to stop people scroll before being able to share our authentic, heartfelt words, right? So
absolutely.
the percentage of so about, I think it's less now, like 6% of our followers actually see our content.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Right? So I mean, we're putting so much effort like to put this like amazing, heartfelt, authentic, people are gonna love it,
Right.
Post, and 6% of our followers are seeing.
Yeah.
And if that, like, so how do we get 3% of that 6% to actually stop and read that?
Right.
Is super important. How do we do that? Well, we want to make sure we're stopping their scroll. And the way to do that is to make sure that the quality and aesthetic of our picture is good. And this, they recognize that. It goes with staying consistent. If we're consistent, then people will start to recognize our types of pictures that we're posting.
Yeah.
So a few practical ways to do that without having like any professional stuff or resources or tools that we have to buy. Instagram, I mean, filters. We have, if you do, like, if you go on Instagram, you're posting a picture, there are so many filters, there are so many ways to edit your picture. And so picking the same filter every time you post is one way. Sharpening the image, contrasting, doing the same thing to one picture. If you're contrasting, if you're sharpening, if you're using a warmer filter, then do that with all your pictures.
Right.
Don't pick one filter one time and then the next time you're picking a cooler color, and the next time you're sharpening your picture, you're really saturating the picture. Making sure that we're doing the same thing to every picture is one super easy way to do that, just so that it looks like it's flowing right. Another way is to, since we're freelancers and business owners, a lot of the times we'll post like fun, motivating quotes or like promo information, right? And we probably use free tools like Canva, or maybe you do use Adobe, I don't know. And we make like these cute, fun, like 50% off, or to post and to let our followers know that there's some sort of promotion going on. Or what I do is I'll post like motivational quotes. That's one of my, 7 categories. And one way to stay consistent is by using the same design, the same types of fonts, so that when people are scrolling through their, feed, they're like, oh, wait, stop. I recognize that. I've seen it 20 times. And it might take 20 times for someone to actually stop. Right? But we'll get there, right? We'll get people and our followers to start realizing like, oh, this is Marisa, or this is Katie's stuff, And so staying consistent with the type of fonts, and the design. I literally have one file on Canva for my motivational quotes, and I go back to that file every other week and I change the quote. Don't have to worry about the font or the design. As tempting as it is to want to be creative and fun and do different designs, I stick to that so people know that that's our brand.
But actually, it really makes your life more simple then. Because if you're using the same exact filter, the same exact, text, the same, whatever it is, it's actually time saving in the long run. So you're thinking about your brand as a whole, like how does my website look, my Instagram, all of these things, how are they all lining up and connecting together? But then it's also a time saver because it's like, you don't have to think about it. You can just this is the filter I use. This is, the color I go with.
I don't want to have to think about that. As moms, we don't have time to think about that. Just tell me what to do, And so we tell ourselves, this is what you do, Marisa, this is what you do, Katie, then it makes life so much simpler,
Absolutely.
It's like your fingers just know what to do after a while.
That's perfect. I love simple.
Me too. I like I've learned how to automate things and have systems and plan out my content one day a month so that I'm not having to think about that. And I don't want to live on my phone. And again, being mommies, I want my son to remember my eyes. I don't want him to grow up thinking mommy was always on the phone because that's the habit that he'll pick up one day.
Absolutely.
So
those are great tips. And then did you have a third one as well?
Yeah. So and this one's super quick and simple. So the first time, and the tip is to make sure that your bio is concise and specific, right? So this sounds like, oh, well, duh, Maritza. But what I'm seeing a lot of is people, and I done this as well, trying to be creative or fun with the bio. And the reality is I think we have 150 characters, something like that, to say exactly what we do, right? So and there's room to be creative and fun, but I think the main goal for our bio should be to reel them in, right? To reel that follower in, a potential customer in, by saying exactly what we do. And then also, and this is where the challenge kind of comes in, is saying what we do and then saying the type of value that they're going to get from following us. So if I share our bio, I crafted our bio and it says something along the lines of wife and husband team, create your dream business, will help you along the way.
Simple, concise. I'm walking away. I know exactly what you do.
Right. And we say get your free resources here, and we're pointing down to the link, right?
Yeah.
So the link is oh, cool. I mean, the bio says okay, they're husband and wife team. They obviously are helping people build their businesses. Super simple. My temptation at first was to say mommy, SoCal, Southern California, I love, gluten-free, different things, fun things that kind of make us stand out. But the reality is it's the first thing that people see.
Right.
That people are going to read. And you really want to just make that connection. And one way to easily do that is to say, so using the keywords so that, because people want to know, I want to know what the value is here. So we say, click on the link below to get your free resource so that you can start building your business.
Okay.
So that, and that clearly says tells them okay, I'm going to click on this link because I have a business idea and I want to get started today. It delivers that. It clearly communicates that value.
So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You're being told what it is and what you're going to get out of it.
Right, exactly. And using just those keywords so that kind of triggers that in your head, oh, what's
I love that.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. I love that. I think that's such a good tip to use.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I did forget to mention this. I do have a free resource for anyone who's interested. We have, and I'll send you the link, Katie, so you can post it.
Perfect.
It's called You Don't Need a Business Plan to Start Your Business. Haha, super funny, right? But again, it says exactly what it is.
Right.
We're communicating what it is. And a lot of people, a lot of freelancers think, okay, I've got to have like this business plan or know what I'm talking about or be business savvy.
Right.
And as like an MBA, I'm saying like, that's a lie. Like, you don't need a business plan. Throw that idea out the window. It's so old school, you don't need it.
I love it.
And so our worksheet is just a business canvas model, and it's one page and you can do it in an hour. And there's 2 pages that help you, that kind of guide you and show you how to fill that worksheet out.
That's great.
And it just builds this beautiful picture of what your business looks like, should look like, and helps you think through the different areas that you should be kind of thinking about as a business owner, right? To successfully run your business. So I'll send you that link and people
Thank
can.
you.
Can
that is amazing. Your tips are so helpful. I'm sure I'm actually going to make some changes to my Instagram from these tips. So that was so helpful. And then when does your next session for your program, your 8-week program start?
Actually, okay, so this is funny. We totally didn't even talk about this, but so we start June 5th.
Okay.
And yeah, it's 8 weeks, and we meet on Tuesday nights, virtually, of course,
right.
For an hour, and there are exercises and all that. So it's a lot of work. It's done. Do you want me to share a little bit about it?
Yes, please.
Okay, because we do have 1 spot open. I think I posted on Instagram a few days ago that we had 2 spots open and then 1 spot filled up yesterday. And I sent out an email to our subscribers today saying we have 1 spot open. So it's 8 weeks. It's done in 3 parts. The first part is 2 weeks of business foundation. So thinking about your why. Why does it you do what you do, and how to communicate that to potential customers and how to communicate that as a brand. And then we talk about like business model stuff, pricing strategy, all of that. So 2 weeks of business foundational stuff. And then the 3 weeks is building a website. So building your landing page using WordPress, specifically Divi, because we love Divi and it makes things easy. And teaching you like how to build a website that converts. And so not just the strategy behind like why you should have things certain places, or like where to put your call to action and stuff like that. And then the third part, the last 3 weeks, is all about marketing. So we talk about social media strategy, we talk about email strategy, we talk about how to kind of automate a few things and all of that stuff. So all of like the marketing good stuff. It's so tempting. And we really, really, really focus on a pay over popularity strategy, because it's so easy to get caught up in like, I need 10,000, followers, 30,000 followers. And the reality is like, no, you don't need that. Like, you really could start making money with 100 followers, 1,000 followers. Like, there are ways to help convert followers into actual paying clients. And so we talk all about that type of marketing.
That sounds absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure that someone in this group might be taking that #1 spot that you have left. So I will also drop the link to how to contact you and how to sign up for that as well.
Yeah, fabulous. So good, Katie.
All right. Thank you so much, Marisa. I am so appreciative of your time and your knowledge. So please, if you're watching the replay, just say replay. And if you have any questions for Marisa, any ideas, please just comment below, and I'm sure she'd be happy to answer them. I'm happy to answer them.
And conversation.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, Katie.
Bye.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.